Hello and welcome to Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures on what is a very brisk, cold allotment here. However, we do have beautiful, clear blue skies. It's fantastic. I think I should have put a larger coat on or even some thermals here. It's that cold this morning, but beautiful. However, I hope you're well. I hope you're sitting comfortably. I hope you've got your cuppa with you and your feet up and you can relax while we'll take you through what's on today's show. Well, what is on today's show? I have scourers. I wonder what they're for. This has come from a viewer in Derbyshire, Steve. He uses these. I've never tried. I finally found some that are very rough, and it's to keep something away from my cabbages, but we'll talk that later. I have two types of garlic and my first tulips, all of which will be grown in containers. So once again, sit back, relax and enjoy the show. Well, here I am next to my cabbages, and as you can see, possibly, I've spoken about it, I've got lots of lovely eggshells around them, but I have noticed the eggshells have actually been moved, and I don't think, I'm sure I put them in closer than they are. However, what I've decided to do is take a leaf from the book of Steve in Derbyshire, and he's been using scouring pads to protect his plants for absolutely ages, and I like the idea. So I thought I'd have a go. Now I'm doing two variations. One is with a hole directly in, you can see there, so that when these grow bigger, it will expand. Now this one, which I think is a better idea, I've cut really feather-like cuts in, so when it grows through, it actually pushes it apart. And I think I like that better because it means it's fully protected right up to this young stem at the moment, in the hope that this keeps the slugs and the snails away from my cabbages. I'm losing one over here, and I don't know why. They've just like this one here and not the others, which is interesting. So I'm going to make sure that they're covered and well looked after, because I really do love a good cabbage. And speaking of cabbages, let's pop across to Wakefield to Darren, and you've sent me a picture of your cabbages, and they're netted and they're doing really, really well. We'll come back to Darren later on because he's got lots of things to show us, and brilliant work as always. So congratulations on your cabbages. Mine are a little behind. I didn't put mine out as you have, and obviously, but they are growing really well. They do enjoy this cool weather, and yeah, this is quite therapeutic, you know, cutting holes in things and popping them around the base, and that's all you do really. Put them around the base. Oh, just get that eggshell actually that's now blocking the hole. Be very, very careful. Make sure all the leaves are in it. Get rid of the ones that aren't anything to do with what you're trying to grow. And look, there we are. One, protected cabbage. Now I'm trying to make sure that all the leaves are on. There you go. That's lovely. Look at that. I wonder whether that'll work, because it is really, really rough stuff. And this packet, we got 6 in the packet, and they were £1 for 6. So that's not too bad really. That'll do all these here. So fingers crossed it works. Well, it's glorious down here, and I'm sat in, of course, one of my favourite places. I love it here because I can look straight forward away above the camera here, and the Yorkshire flag is flying high against the most beautiful blue sky. In fact, here's a photograph of the blue sky, just in case you don't know what a blue sky is like. And well, it's glorious. Anyway, it's lovely, and the sun's on my face. What more do you need? Now, I have a beautiful blue pot here that we have lying around, and it's had plants in before. They've been taken out, and of course, well, what can you use an old plant pot for? Of course, tulips. Why not? Now, I have some lovely tulip bulbs here, and these are a fantastic, lovely new variety that I've not tried. They're called a double early foxtrot, and they're lovely, beautiful pink flowers, and they've got a fantastic scent. You can grow now, well, sow now, from September through to December, and then of course you'll get them early March, April, May next year. Now, they need to be about 4 inches apart. How do you, oh hello, I've been attacked by a leaf. How do you plant, if you've not got a measuring stick like I have here, How do you plant a tulip? Well, simple, 3 times its depth. So we've got here, that's the top of the, that's where the 1, 2, 3. I'll just place them in upright there in a position. Now in here I'm going to put 3 tulips in here, and they'll love it, absolutely love it. They'll come up and have a lovely smashing time. So there you go. And then they're just going to be covered with soil. Now I've got some soil down here in my bag and just top them over there, look. And they'll really enjoy growing in the coolness of the winter months. What I am going to do though to start them off is I'm going to pop them inside my greenhouse just to give the soil a little bit of warmth, and then slowly introduce them to the outside over the next coming months. And there we are. And what I love about it, and you know, there you go, that's probably enough. Now you have to be careful with soil. You see me here, I've never been one of those gardeners that has gloves. I just, there's something about getting your fingers in the soil, but you have to be really careful with compost and soils, because you don't really know what's in them. You really need to wash your hands very, very carefully. I've always got soil under my nails. It's awful really, and I do try and get it out. Never looks nice, but I don't know. And then there's something about the smell of the soil. Now Kate up there near Gainsborough sent me a lovely little picture, and well, here it is, all about what soil gives to you. And that's why when we're on the allotments and gardening, that people actually get a boost and a lift. It really is scientifically proven to do you good. It creates enzymes in your body. They say, aren't we talking posh? We're back to science again. What's going on here on the allotment? We don't normally get this in depth, do we? Chuck that away. And produces serotonin, which makes you happy. It's the happy bug, isn't it fantastic? And this is what it's all about here. Outside, fresh air, blue skies and soil. Smelling beautiful, making me feel a lot better than I was just sat indoors. So come on, even if you're outside like I am, sat on a bench with a few pots like this, sowing for next year, planting your bulbs. Isn't it fantastic? So thanks for that, Kate. Really, really interesting stuff actually. Now, I love it. Isn't it fantastic? So that's that complete, and that will mean next spring we'll get some tulips out of here. And you know, I love this process now, this moment where that's been put in there, knowing that in the weeks and months to come, these little lovely little bulbs here, and let's pop these on top, will produce the most amazing delicate flowers. What a superb process. Isn't nature clever? We really need to look after nature, don't we? And well, I look forward to these beauties, beautiful pinks, coming up next year. Wow. Well, we're going to look at 2 types of garlic now, and there are different types of garlics, of course, different varieties and different smells and tastes and textures, all those things. I've got 2. Now the first type is a French variety. It's a red-skinned variety. They're called Germidor, and this variety is what's known as a soft-necked variety. Did you know there were 2 types of garlic varieties? There's a soft neck and a hard neck, and basically the soft neck doesn't have a central stem that holds them all together. They grow in a clump, and you get lots and lots of garlic bulbs growing around each other. So there's no central stem, producing a long stem with a flower on the top. I've grown those in the past, and you get a beautiful head on the top, and often I've just let them go, got rid of some, and had a beautiful large bulb, a great flower, absolutely stunning. But you don't really want to get them to that stage, because that means that all the energy then goes into producing the flower and not into growing the garlic. Now it's really simple stuff to grow. It loves the cold, the garlic, and all you have to do is just split your garlic bulbs across like this. So take them out, and I'll just pop those back in that bag because I don't want to lose those. So I said the French variety, red skinned, and one of these little beauties here will produce its own garlic around it. Isn't that magnificent? Again, nature's wonderful. So here I've got 1, 2, 3 already. There's about, let's have a look, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yep. Oh, that's just clumped together, even if it's the same, 7, There's another 6 there, so 13, 14 garlic bulbs that I will get out of one garlic like this. So 14 out of one of those. Such a bargain. Really brilliant stuff. And well, it's funny. You can buy 3 packs of different flowers. So my tulips and 2 sets of garlic cost me £5. So it's really good. But now, when you plant your garlic, and I have my bag next to me here, they need to be about 6 inches apart to allow them to grow. Now, because these are soft necks, I'm going to grow these in this bag here that's had potatoes in the past. It's got some lovely compost in. Now, what you don't want to do is get your garlic and shove it into the ground. It will ruin the end of your garlic. It won't like it whatsoever, and may not even grow because you're going to ruin the area where you're growing. Now, so all you need to do, stick your fingers in, or you can get a dabber if you wish, and pop it in. There you go. In you go. And well, because that's be 6 inches apart, now I could obviously that's there, and that'll go bang in the centre, so I can get 1, 2, put another one there, one there. I can have 5 pieces of garlic in here. Isn't that brilliant? And well, it says on the packet, and I'll read you the packet. There we go. When to plant, September to December. How far apart? 6 inches. And a depth of 3 centimetres, so not too deep down. So that's in there. I'll do the same here, and we'll just pop those in. As I said, just pop them in. Don't force them in, because you ruin the end of your garlic, and we don't want that to happen, do we? There we go, nice and done. And my garlic is almost ready for next year. It's as simple as that, and I can't wait. So there we go, all finished. Cover the tops over. And that is my garlic in my bag. The beauty about putting them in pots, of course, and bags like this is you can follow the sun around as well, and it will warm the soil, although they do like it cold. And what's happening is already some of these have started to produce stalks and stems, because it's been cold here on the allotment already. So they're well advanced, they're growing already. Now, garlic doesn't like to be overwatered. It's quite self-sufficient. In really dry, long, sustained periods, yes, water it, but don't get them waterlogged, otherwise they won't grow. They just like a really nice, damp soil. So that's what I'll be giving them. They're having nice, they have a little bit of water, and yeah, brilliant stuff. We do like garlic, don't we? Because then I can put it into my tomato sauces next season. Oh, and it keeps for months as well. 6 months plus it will keep. But also you can chop it and freeze it. A very versatile little plant. Well, here I am, and I'm planting some more garlic. Now, this is the centre, the hard-stemmed garlic. Remember the photograph with the soft and the hard? And basically, actually, put those down. This is actually part of the same family, obviously, it's the alums, and the garlic and the onions are the same. This I let just go to seed, and this is what actually will look like virtually with the garlic, with this lovely flower on top. This is actually a leek. I thought it was an onion, but it's actually a leek, and I just let them go. And the bees have loved these this year. Absolutely thought they were glorious. So we've got those. So that's what it basically these are going to become. But I don't want to let this garlic, of course, grow and have heads on. We need to pick it well before that. Again, we've got the garlic here. I've made predetermined holes. I'm just going to pop those in there like that, and they'll grow really nicely over winter. As I say, don't water too much. Let them just happen, and well, they'll be happy as Larry here in these. And just then cover them up lightly, tap them down. It doesn't really matter if they're sideways or up as that. Just make sure that's nice. There you go. And they will grow quite happily in here over winter, and hopefully we'll have some beautiful garlic. Speaking of the alum family, let's go back to Darren in Wakefield. And once again, Darren, thank you so much for your photographs. You are growing kale and cabbages. Now they're the same frame as you can see here, and they're covered, of course, to protect them. And then you've got onions as well. They're coming up nicely. You've got your leeks that are also coming up very nicely as well. So you've got a whole range of and potatoes, of course. They're brilliant. So great. What I love is now you're preparing for next season, and we always talk about preparing, don't we, for next season. You wanted to grow sweet corn, and you sent a question asking, can you grow sweet corn in tubes? And you've made your own cardboard tubes into squares, which I love, and they're ready to put for next season. So early on next year, you're about to put your compost in there and sow your sweet corn into those tubes. Fantastic. Now, sweet corn's very odd. A lot of people grow sweet corn in rows individually. Actually, you don't. They like to be clumped together because obviously when it's windy, they can self-fertilise to each other. And yes, so grow them in squares rather than in rows, and they'll really enjoy that, and they will turn into better sweet corn for next year. So good luck with those, and thank you once again for your photographs. Really, really good of you. Now, my garlic's in, we've looked at the garlic, and well, I think I'm going to go and have a cuppa now. And hopefully, well, the sun will be around that tree any moment and warm the soil slightly. Well, I'm just sharing the last of the compost from this bag. Now, what was in this bag, I ask? Well, here we go. Are we ready? Da, 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 da. Potatoes. Yes, potatoes. Oh, what a magnificent view. I love a good potato. Now, these are Albert Bartlett. Guess what? For the first time ever, I found the packet. Isn't it brilliant? I've actually kept it. That's really organised for me, isn't it? Vivaldi, these ones, a type of Vivaldi. Now, these are all-rounders. You can steam them, you can mash them, you can roast them, you can boil them, you can do whatever you like with these potatoes. Absolutely brilliant, and in the right conditions, so I can pop these in my Hessian bag and pop them in the shed somewhere nice and dark and cool, and they'll keep for ages. Absolutely yonks. Months actually, but they won't keep that long because we'll be using those. I'm very impressed. Unfortunately, I did have another variety in this bag, again the Albert Bartlett, but these were the red skin variety, and they've not done as well. In fact, they've been rubbish compared to this Vivaldi one. And it's brilliant. Now, what's interesting, there are still some diddy ones, and when I say diddy ones, they really are diddy. But do you know what I like to do with these? Just pop them in the tin and roast them in the oven, and they come out really soft and beautiful. You don't have to do anything with them, and the kids love them because they're silly shapes and they're small and they're magnificent. You can, of course, boil them or steam them and get the same thing. Bit of garlic, bit of herb in there with them, bit of butter. Oh, how lovely. Anyway, let's stop talking potatoes. I was out the other day just having a wander around, and I met an old guy that I know, and we just got talking because he knows I do the old gardening stuff, and I've got an allotment, and he was panicking because he'd bought lots of vegetables, and they were sort of going a bit soft. So I said, look, why not revitalise them? I told him about putting his carrots and stuff into cold water, stick them in the fridge overnight, and then they'll come back. And he was wondering how he could save them, how he could get their life to extend longer, you know, that he could use them. And I basically said, well, do you have a freezer? They said, yes, I've got a freezer. I said, well, why not freeze them? It never dawned on him to freeze the stuff. And he was really, really pleased. So he was going to go back and he was going to chop his carrots up and freeze them. He knew all about blanching, which was amazing, but he just forgot. He said he lived on his own. I was trying to make everything stretch a bit longer. And then he got talking about potatoes. He said, how do I keep my potatoes? That's basically, why not do the same thing? Peel them, boil them, mash them up, let them cool down, stick them in a freezer bag and put them in the freezer. Yes, you can freeze mashed potato, and then you can use it at your leisure later on. Isn't that just brilliant? And so he was going to go and do that, and it could extend the use of his vegetables over the winter period, because he said he was just, you know, being on his own. He obviously could go and buy 1 or 2 potatoes or 1 or 2 carrots. He said, but that didn't make any sense because, of course, the costs are getting there and back, and so he was buying not in bulk, but they come in bags, don't they? And yeah, how to revitalise your veg. And I was so pleased I could help him, and it's great here on the allotment having all you on board. Thank you once again to Kate for their contributions to today's show. It's great to have some new subscribers on board. Hello and welcome. If you are a new subscriber, well, what you have to do is you have to sit back, put your feet up and have a cuppa while watching the show. I know many of you do, and I love the comments that I get about it. I haven't had one this morning whilst filming. I normally have several on the go, but it's been quite a busy morning here. But it's been great. I mean, look at this. I'm sat here basking in the sunshine, the blue skies. It's a little chilly still, but it's really nice, and it's once again great having you on board. Please press the subscribe button if you haven't already. And oh, before I go, by the way, I've been told that there are advertisements all along, or during, or before this show. I don't get any revenue from those advertisements. I have nothing to do with them. It's obviously Facebook and YouTube putting them on, not me. So I don't make any money from it. This is all done, all for free, and I love doing it. I love being here. I love talking to you lot, and I love having all your comments. So please keep watching, and I'll see you next time here on Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. And I better go and wash my hands now, I suppose. I'll see you later. Ta-ra for now.